I love you. Forever. The young girl walked around her neighborhood. She had nothing to do. It was Friday night and all her friends were either at a party or sleeping. Out of the corner of her eye, when she was opening the door, she saw a boy around the age of 12, 1 year older than her. He was skinny and had thin blonde hair. He had freckles on his cheeks and big round glasses. She had never seen the boy before, so why was he standing in front of her house? Ignoring him, she opened the door and went inside. A few seconds later, there was a knock on the door. She opened it, revealing the skinny boy. Hi, I just moved here. My name is Edwin, and I lost my dog. If you see him, please tell me. I live next door, Edwin said. She shook her head and Edwin asked her name. Allison. It's nice to meet you, Edwin, Allison said. Allison noticed Edwin's big emerald eyes. They were so green that if you stared into them, you would be hypnotized by the color. She then shut the door. She didn't feel like interacting with that boy. The next day, Allison woke up on the floor with the novel, Elle, Change the World, next to her. She put the book on her dresser and got dressed. She was having breakfast when there was a knock at the door. She opened the door to see Edwin, wearing a blue t-shirt and black shorts that were way too big for him. Allison welcomed him, and he came inside. Edwin sat down on the couch. I still can't find my dog. He's a beagle puppy and about 8 pounds and named Lucky. Did you find him? Allison said no. Edwin got glum. Allison and Edwin were watching Orion High School Host Club when Naomi, Allison's 17-year-old sister, came home. Naomi, this is my new friend Edwin. He just moved here, Allison said. Naomi looked towards Edwin. Another made-up friend, really? Naomi asked before going upstairs. Allison was confused. She swore Edwin was real. During the 5 months they knew each other, Allison and Edwin became closer and closer. Eventually, they began dating. Naomi still said Edwin didn't exist. Edwin's dog, Lucky, was still missing. One day, they were out late at night when barking could be heard. Allison turned her head to see a beagle barking frantically. Edwin perked up. Lucky, I found you after so long, Edwin said, running after the dog. Allison ran after him until she came across a grave in the cemetery. R.I.P. Edwin Rogers, 1960 to 1972. Allison stood in utter horror at the grave. This kid died at age 12, the same age as Edwin. She quickly ran home and searched Edwin Rogers dead online. An article then explained the death of the 12-year-old boy named Edwin, who died after being hit by a car while looking for his dog named Lucky. Allison shook in horror. Edwin had been dead for 30 years. She then turned and gasped at the sight. Edwin was holding Lucky, but he looked different. His left leg was twisted and bent in a gruesome way. He had tire tracks from a car along his body. His glasses were cracked. His shirt was stained in blood. His blonde hair was matted against his skull. The worst part of all was the fact that blood came from a crack in his head. Allison vomited on the floor, and Edward frowned. I thought you loved me. You helped me look for Lucky. We watched your favorite shows together. We pranked your sister last month. Don't you love me, Alice? Edwin asked. Allison was confused. Alice? Allison asked. She had a neighbor named Alice. People said Alice looked like her when she was a kid. Edwin nodded. You ran away from me when that car struck me. I thought you loved me, Alice, Edwin said with tears coming from his emerald eyes. Allison told Edwin to come with her somewhere. She knocked on the door where her neighbor, Alice, walked out and saw the boy. She gasped with fear and surprise. Edwin, is that you? It's me, Alice, Alice said. Edwin was still sad. Yes, it's me. Why did you run away? Edwin asked. Alice hugged the boy, trying not to make any more damage. I was looking for help. By the time I got my mother, it was too late. I'm happy to see you again, Edwin, Alice said. Edwin's body glowed. He looked the way he appeared when Allison first met him. Allison, do you promise to love Edwin? Alice asked. Yes, Allison said. Edwin smiled. Forever? Edwin asked. Allison smiled. Forever, Allison said. They both hugged. Allison and Edwin went home, and Naomi was watching TV. making room for someone who wasn't there. This is Oswald. He moved across the street yesterday. He wants to know where his little brother went to, Naomi said. The family portrait. Recently, at the art gallery I worked at, they had a new exhibit for local artists. It was the usual sort of thing, substandard painting that only got a shoe-in because they were from the local community, paintings of local people and places and so forth. It was my job to decide which paintings got put on display, which entailed me sorting through around 100 of these awful excuses for art. There was one, though, that really caught my attention, unlike the others. It was not of a local scene or a local person, it was of a family. A father in a suit sitting in a chair, his dutiful wife behind him, and his young son and daughter at his feet. By the look of their clothes, they were from the 19th century, typically dressed for a middle-class family of that period. Two things struck me about the painting. Firstly, the attention to detail and the quality of the artwork was impeccable, almost photogenic. And secondly, was the shiver it sent down my spine. The people in the portrait had this eerie, gaunt look to them, and expressions that were so blank they looked almost dead. The painting had no artist name attached to it, and Molly from reception had said that she couldn't recall anybody sending it in. I decided then that instead of putting the painting on display, I would take it home with me. After all, it had no name attached to it, so nobody was going to miss it, were they? I got home and decided that I was going to hang it in my study, and after hanging it, spent the rest of the night filing paperwork. Every so often, I would find my eyes drawn to the painting. I felt the strangest and most uncomfortable sensation. I felt like the family in the painting were somehow judging me, like I could feel their eyes boring into me from the painting. What's worse is that because they were staring at the painter, and therefore anybody who looked at the painting, their eyes seemed to follow me around the room. After a while, I couldn't take it anymore. I turned the painting against a wall and vowed that no matter how interesting it was, I would return it to the gallery the next day. I got a hold of myself, though. I had been working quite late and was very tired, and decided that I would sleep on it. I began to finish off the last of my filing at my desk. This was a bad idea. My eyes were heavy, and before I knew it, I had fallen asleep right there in the study. That night, my dreams were filled with visions of the painting. Over and over again, all I dreamed about was that family staring at me from behind the canvas, drilling into my soul with their blank, visionless stares. With every dream, they seemed to get more and more intense, until after a while, their eyes were wide, and they were giving me looks of such intense hatred that I thought they were about to kill me. After a while, I snapped into awareness to find myself face to face with the painting, except this time, instead of blank expressions, I was faced with hellish visions that will haunt me until I die. Their faces were twisted into looks of absolute malice. Their gaunt, waxen skin was drawn taut across their pointed cheekbones, their lips peeled back across blackened gums to reveal gnarled yellow teeth, bared in a bestial snarl. The less that was said about their bloodshot, protruding eyes, the better. I screamed and fell off my chair, stumbling out of the room, unable to turn and look back at the painting. I ran across the hallway and dived into my bed, burying my head under the covers. The next morning, when I woke up, I was still terrified. I rationalized it to myself, though. You were overtired, and you had a night terror. The room was dark, and both the shadows and your mind were trying to play tricks on you. I went about my usual routine unperturbed, comforted by the rational logic of my mind. I was about to go to work when I realized I had forgotten about the papers in the study. I opened the door to grab the papers, but as soon as I set foot in the room, my heart froze and my blood ran cold. The painting was still turned against the wall. Not only that, but my desk had not even been facing the painting to begin with. It was facing the window.